Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mac and Cheese 65, bringing you the second installment in the Crowfall Getting Started series. Today I'm going to teach you how to create your own armor, where you need to go to get it, what all you need to gather, the whole process. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing you're going to need are tools. You need to make sure that you have tools made. So you're going to need a skinning knife, you're going to need an axe, you will need a hammer, and you'll need a pickaxe. Hopefully you already have some made from the first video. What you're going to need to gather will be ore, uncommon leather or hide, uncommon wood, ethereal dust, and stone. Now what we're going to do with all of these is we're going to craft our first set of armor, which is going to be the intermediate armor. It'll be the same armor type for everyone, so you don't have to worry about plate or metal or leather. It's all the same. Here's the chest piece, here's the gloves, and here's the boots. We're also going to learn how to make your weapons today as well. You will need exactly 27 iron ore, 24 hide, 12 wood, 17 dust, and 12 stone. This can vary some though, based on which weapons you need to craft for your class. Just keep that in mind, but it should be almost exactly this. Now the second thing you need to do is find out where you need to go. The second step in this process is figuring out where you need to go. So we're currently in our temple. It is located here. Now we're going to go ahead and leave our temple. Now if you head one of the 4 directions in the temple, it's the east direction for me. This may vary on your faction. We're going to pick one of the portals. We are going to go to Formosa. Now from here, our goal is to find the materials that we need. So you need to find all the gathering nodes. So you need to find uncommon trees or animals to skin, some stone. And you will get the dust by doing the rest of the gathering activities. So I see some ore down here, so I'm going to go ahead and run to it. Level 2, perfect. Go ahead and get some of that. Make sure you try and hit the little reticles that pop up while you're harvesting. Let me explain that a little bit further. When you hit the reticle, you will hit with a critical hit, which will increase the damage you do, which just makes the node die faster, which gives you resources faster. It's just an efficiency thing. Alright, let's go find a tree now. So the next resource I actually found was cobblestone, which is stone. So I'm going to go ahead and gather that. Make sure you get up the 12 or more that you need. If you gather more, it's only going to be a good thing. You're going to need resources for other things. Alright, so now let's go find the next resource we need. So the next resource we actually found were spiders. We can get hides from these, so we're going to go ahead and kill them. Just remember how much of each thing you need, so that you can get your armor and weapons crafted right away. This is pretty important for a couple reasons. Once you do get them crafted, you will be a lot stronger, which will make killing these mobs more efficient, and you'll be able to progress quicker. So I suggest as soon as you get all your mats, go ahead and head back and craft them. Let's go ahead and skin all these things. Make sure you use your crafting pips. I meant your exploration pips. Alright, let's go ahead and do this one while we're here. The resources should be pretty plentiful right now because it's spring, and that generally means that there are more resources. You can tell what season it is by looking at your buffs on the top right part of the screen. That location may change in the future, but right now it's on the top right part of our screen, and spring is pretty plentiful when it comes to resources. Alright, let's find the next resource we need. Okay, here's the next resource we need, and I believe the final one. If you're curious how you can tell the difference between a common and an uncommon resource, this is a common resource, or a poor. It's not glowing, there's no special effects on it, nothing. This tree, on the other hand, is glowing and kind of sparkling and emitting some light. This tells you that it is an uncommon tree and that you will get better wood from it. So that's what we're going to use today. Let's go ahead and chop that down. It's level 2, which is good. Shouldn't take us too long to cut it down. The higher level the resource node, the longer it will take to cut down. But also increases the chance of getting something better out of it. So you could get green or blue wood, for example. And I can go over a video about that in the future, about gathering in general. Alright, so now what we need to do next, since we have all of our mats, you'll need to gather more than I did, but for the sake of this video and trying to keep it short, I'm not going to do that. Just keep gathering till you have everything. You know, check off your 27 ore and the rest of the list, and then head back to the temple. You can do this in 2 ways. You can run back to where you came in. There's a little portal there, or you can hit your recall button, which is this one. So my keybound is mouse 3. Let's go ahead and use that. It has a cast time. So I'll see you back in the temple. So now that we're back in the temple, we need to figure out where we need to go to craft these. And this was the question that I had when I first started the game. I had no idea what I needed, where to go. So if you just go straight, when you zone in, take a right to the crafting quarters. It also has vendors there that sell crafting materials and some other things. We're going to ignore that for now. We're going to take a hard right. And these tables are the general crafting tables. These are what you're going to use to craft the armor. So we're going to be looking at leatherworking for our armor. So for boots, it says we need a leather sheet or dust. Chest, 2 leather sheets, more ore and more dust. Gloves, same thing as the boots. So how do we get leather sheets? Well, under leatherworking, there's also a tab called components. It just takes leather. So go ahead and pop those in real quick. Let's go ahead and make up 4 of those. Once I have, I'll jump back to the video. So as you can see down here, we have our 4 leather sheets. Now we're going to go ahead and start crafting our armor. Go ahead and throw one of those in there. Add the other components. Let's craft it. Great, now we have boots. Let's go ahead and do the other ones. Fantastic. Now you can get poor quality versions of these. For example, I have poor quality boots here. Their stats will be slightly lower in some cases. With intermediate gear, it doesn't really matter. So if you get a poor quality item, go ahead and feel free to keep it. You don't have to worry about creating a new one. Let's create our last one. Let's get our gloves. Now, the next step that you have your armor is I suggest you check your armor mitigation tab, top right. You'll notice that your mitigation is pretty low. It's only 5%. So let's go ahead and put on that armor and see how much that changed. Put on our gloves, put on our boots. As you can see, it's nearly tripled, which is really significant for our own survivability and our combat ability. So now it's time to create our weapons. We go to blacksmithing for that. If you are a ranger though, you're going to need to go to woodworking to craft your bow. But for most people, it's going to just be blacksmithing. Since we're an assassin, we're going to be creating daggers. We need a metal billet, a basic dagger, and 5 ethereal dust. The metal billet is located in the weapons components under blacksmithing tab. Just takes ore. So what we need is 2 of these since we're creating 2 daggers. We're just going to put our crafting pips and attack power mostly. That's what I prefer. Let's go ahead and make both of those. Now we still need 2 basic daggers. The first daggers you begin with are not basic daggers. They're just primitive ones. So we need to figure out how to create basic ones. So you go to basic crafting, you go to basic weapons, and you go down to the weapon type you need. So for us, it's daggers. This is what you need the stone for, and the wood. So we need to create 2 of these, since we need 2 daggers. Now we can go back to blacksmithing, intermediate weapons, and daggers. So we have our basic dagger, put that in, put on our metal billet, ethereal dust, craft. Create the other one for the sake of it. So now you have a brand new set of very strong weapons in comparison to what you were using, and armor. As you can see, these weapons have 45 to 66 damage versus these ones, which have only 18 to 27. You're going to feel a lot stronger. I thought it only fitting that we end the video where we started. So if you liked the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Comment if you have any suggestions for future videos or questions about this one. Please tell me what weapon you created in the comments below, what class you're playing. I think that would be pretty interesting to know. The next video in the series, I believe, is going to be how to get your first mount. Stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you next time.